what's up? It's Mila and I'm back with Casey Undercover. And guys, this is literally sad. Casey Undercover is not coming on until another 5 weeks. I'm talking until November 6th. I'm gonna have to wait until a whole another holiday to pass for me to get another Casey Undercover. That's stupid. I don't know. I'm like, ugh, why is Disney trying to do this to me? Why is Disney doing this? I'm like, bro, like, come on. Like, I want my Casey Undercover every single week. It's like, what the heck? I mean, I guess it's because they already had their MONSTOBER episode. Like, this is kind of their MONSTOBER episode already. And I'm just like, but like, seriously though, I gotta wait until November 6th until I have to wait a whole month. I have to wait a month and a week. I'm like, this is literally upsetting. But I'm just like, no, I just gotta wait a whole month, not another week. Just a whole month. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, but yeah, on this episode we had something really cool, something trendy that's now trendy in today's VR, virtual reality. This was actually at the fashion show mall. We did a vlog on it. I don't know if you guys saw that part, but they had virtual reality. You put the glasses on and you like in a virtual world, and like you have to sign a waiver before you start doing that stuff, because you can like go and like do if you have medical conditions, then something can happen. But that's like so cool. If I can go into a real world and just deal with that real world, like my dream world, that would be awesome. Like it'd be like, oh my god, I'll be hanging out with Rihanna, Shawn Mendes, Trey Songz, Nicki Minaj. Oh my god, like yes. That would be my like dream world, like that, and then having a busload of money and like the world being peaceful, no violence, no nothing. That would be my world, okay? A peaceful world. But anyway, yeah. So it started off with Kira's like, Casey Cooper, you gonna be late to school again. So she was like, oh, a mother, you know, I was studying how to get the perfect lip gloss. She was pretty and pink, face beat to death, and I was just like, dang. And she's like, look, 3 hours earlier. So 3 hours earlier, Casey was saying how Ernie was taken prisoner by this girl named Darcy, and she was in a she did a virtual reality program. Ernie was captured in there. Craig was like, well, this is dangerous. Ernie made a secret password that no one is gonna know until he spilled his guts in there. And it's like, yeah, just like he spilled his guts when he had that raw onion. And she's like, well, did you have to bring it up now? And then she's like, that's what I told Ernie, not to bring up them raw onions. But she's gonna go in, so she got to break through virtual disorientation. Like first she's gonna be like, she thinks she's the regular person, but then she's gonna start remembering something, like, wait, I'm forgetting something. That's how she's gonna break through it. So she went in. So then the mom was like, she was like, Mom, I don't think I can go to school today. So she's like, cause I got split ends. And then she was like, oh my god, cause it was the opposite of Casey, which was weird. But which was really weird. So it was the opposite of Casey. So yeah, I would think that they would make it the person Casey really wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah. Meanwhile, on the opposite of Casey, in the virtual world, she had a mirror in her locker. She know all the boys' names. Marissa was like, would you say hey to your best friend before you say hey to all the boys? She's like, are you going to tend to the pigs and chickens because you wearing overalls? So Marissa was kind of like Casey in a way, but a little bit more like shy, like all this and that. She was kind of like Casey in a way. But yeah, so then she was like, I'm too busy studying, and she's like, I can't worry about makeup and hair. And Casey was like, obviously not. So Ernie is really popular. There's going to be a Halloween dance. Ernie was so popular, everybody knew him. He was like the most popular man in the world. Marissa really liked him. So, well, that's what they made Marissa do. Because, you know, the people who was running it, that was Colton, they was running the world in there. So Casey's like, that's where I'm feeling I'm forgetting something. She's like, well, it's not about school. And Marissa's like, it's never about school, is it? So this guy was like, Ernie, I need some help. He's like, I need to run my locker combination. It's a code. So then Ernie was about to say the code. Ernie, what are you doing? Why are you about to say that? Like, no. So then Casey came on and was like, come here. So he's like, what are you doing? So she was like, she was asking about the Halloween dance. So then he was like, oh, maybe you should go dress up as the most annoying person. He's like, oh wait, you already are. So she was like, ah, ha 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 ha, even though I'm your older sister and this is supposed to hurt my feelings, I don't know why I'm laughing. This is hilarious. So then she just laughed and just walked away. Meanwhile, this is like, this code is locked in this loser's brain. So then she's like, I think the guy that was working with her, I don't know his name, but he was really cool. I liked his acting. He was like, I think that the spies hacked into my network and got Casey in there. So she's like, no, she hacked in to get a flight to spring break. Then he was like, no, I think she hacked, the spies hacked in. And she's like, I was being sarcastic. Then he was like, oh, okay. So then she's like, well, I'm going to take Casey down. He's like, ha 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 ha. Then she's like, I wasn't being sarcastic. He's like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, they had Mrs. Goldfeather. They was going to get her. She's like, it's free garlic knots today. Give me my knots. But tomorrow was going to be free garlic knots day. She's like, look, I still want my knots. So Ernie came in there. So then he's like, everybody's like, Ernie. So he's like, next time when I come in, y'all should throw some rose petals. And then they did. But Mrs. Goldfeather was like, look, my PD needs some help with something. So then he was like, Ernie was like, what a coinky dinky run into you here, Mrs. Goldfeather. So then the guy that was doing the code, he's like, yeah, 16,000 lines of code and coinky dink my butt. I'll put that in there. But yeah, anyway, so she almost got the quote out of him. Casey's like, I'm back. And she looked regular, you know, no makeup, no nothing. So she was like, if being glammed up is right, I don't want to be wrong. So, yeah. Yeah. No, if glammed up is wrong, I don't want to be right. But anyway, yeah. So, she was like, this is not going to be pleasant. Mrs. Goldfeather was beating up Casey. First of all, Ernie left because she got Ernie to leave. Mrs. Goldfeather was about to beat up Casey. She was throwing glass at Casey. It was too much. But then Casey ended up getting her, throwing her into the table. And then she's like, I want my garlic knots to go. And then she like disappeared out of nowhere. So yeah, that was like not pretty good. Meanwhile, basically, she was like, look, I'm coming for you, whoever got Ernie. And whoever y'all got you, I'm gonna come get you. I'm coming for you. So she's like, if somebody's not watching me right now, this would be extremely embarrassing. So hopefully somebody out there watching me. So Kira was like, here's our little superstar base. Remember, these was fake parents. So it was like treating Ernie really nice. So that he came in and then Craig was like, oh, he's not little. He's ideally sized and compact. So then she was like, oh, that's so cute. So they was like, you know, begging for his attention and all that. So then she was like, I mean, turkey Cheshire your favorite. So then he was like, pitch me, I'm dreaming. So then they was like, why would we pitch you? This is not a dream. This is absolutely real. She's like, yeah, it's so real that we got you a puppy. So he was like, oh my God, this is the puppy that I've dreamt about. So then she's like, well, I got you 2 puppies. So she was like, oh, look, Rihanna called you to for you to be a special guest on her concert. You just got to call this number back. But, oh, we don't know the less than a digit. So then she's like, 2 DV. Then he had to finish the rest. So then Casey's like, no, wait. And she's like, does that sound like a phone number to you, Ernie? So then he was like, actually it don't. But then Kira was like, have another puppy. So then Kira went and told Ernie, she's like, go run along to the Halloween dance, you know what I'm saying, go do this, you gotta hurry, we gotta go. So he's like, yeah, I gotta show off my new moves, because he liked doing the Bernie and all that. And it was like really cute. But yeah, so she was like, look, Kira and Craig brought her in, they're gonna take her out. That's what Darcy was like, basically. So she was like, look, I can't find my own pants. They're like, oh, that'd be so much easier. So Kira's like, he was wondering what it's like to be taken to, you know, to take us. Like, oh my God, they started beating up their own kid. Meanwhile, when she was getting beat up, Kira and Craig saw her that she was in distress. She's like, oh my God, they're like, whoever's in there beating up Casey, I'm gonna get him when I get done with this. It was y'all. They was beating her up so bad. So then she was like, this what she hit her first off. Casey hit Kira with a dish rag. I'm like, okay. But then they was like, game over. Ha ha ha. This was easy. I'm just like, wow. They didn't end up shooting each other because she ducked when they shot. So they ended up killing each other. Then she was like, well, just to ask you guys, it's a Halloween dance tonight and I'm not going to be home by my curfew. Is that cool? And she's like, didn't hear no. So then she left. So Darcy, she's like, I researched Ernie and Ernie got some stuff going on with Marissa. He liked her a lot. So the guy was like, yeah, people that really work closely together and, you know, spend a lot of time together, they started to fall in love and be more of a loving relationship than a friendship. So then she was like, she was like, that's not going to happen with us. And he's like, okay. He kept trying to. But yeah, so they had Marissa dressed up as a dragon role-playing goblin. And she's like, I have a secret. I'm a 4th level dungeon master. And he was like, I love 4th level dungeon masters. So Ernie's like, well, what you doing? All this and that. They was talking. So then she was like, oh my God, I'm going to start doing a Bernie. So then she started doing the Bernie. She started dancing. So then she tried to get him to get the freaking rest of the code. I'm just like, they so obvious with it. But yeah, Ernie was like, this doesn't feel right. And she was like, no, you like best friends with my sister. And he's like, no, wait, what? So he started remembering just a little. He started remembering. Oh my God. So then the guy that worked with Darcy, he's like, some people don't even know a good thing when it's staring them right in the face. So then she was looking up and he was looking at her. She's like, stop looking at me. He's like, I wasn't looking at you. But then she looked down and he was looking at her. And she was like, but yeah, he was looking at her. So yeah, so Darcy's like, well, game on, Casey. And then she got a gun. I'm like, okay, we don't have to bring guns into this. Like, Jesus. But anyway, Casey saw Marissa, and Casey did a Julius Caesar reference, and Marissa was like, nice one. So she was like, oh, now you know Shakespeare. You definitely know Marissa. So they started fighting in a kiddie pool full of frosting, which looked really delicious. It looked like it was either vanilla frosting or buttercream frosting. Hopefully it was vanilla because I like vanilla frosting. I always go on, but we just recently started getting vanilla frosting from like the cakes we make at home, and normally we get like yellow lemon or chocolate frosting, but the vanilla frosting is surprisingly tasty. Vanilla frosting on a yellow bready chocolate cake, that's good. So that's a little tip for you guys there. But yeah, meanwhile, Darcy tried to convince fake Ernie or dream life Ernie that Casey was sick, and Ernie was like, yeah, she does seem a little sad because I'm numero uno to the parents, number one. So he's like, look, they love us both, but I'm really the favorite one. So yeah, so Casey started beating Marissa up in the frosting. It was like really disgusting. And then Marissa's like, this is supposed to be a piece of cake, and all she did was hit in her face with frosting, and then she like disappeared. She died. Like right then and there, she died. It was like freaking crazy. So Casey's like, oh, it's such a big mess. Fortunately, it's not real. So then she snapped and she got clean. I was like, I wish that could happen. I wish I had like wizard powers, like on Wizards of Waverly Place. Like, I wish I could like turn something, an inanimate object, animated. Like Marietta Animata, and then bam, they'd be like animated or what. Like, I wish I could do that, but I can't. So. But anyway, Casey's like, you made me find my best friend in a bowl of frosting, even though that was delicious. I'm still gonna do it. So she had Darcy cornered until she was like, I made this game. So she freaking jumped shift. So then Ernie got the gun, and I was like, oh my god. And then Ernie was like, why would I want to return to my real life when you just call me a loser and this is a great life right here. So then he was like, look, I don't know. Is he going to shoot Casey for taking ChezZie? So then he shot, and I was like, oh. But he took out Darcy. Then Casey threw her body on her. She's like, get off of me. So she's like, thanks, bro. He's so cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm really cool. Yeah, he's like, look. Okay. So then he's like, bye, Turkey Tetrazzini. Meanwhile, they was like, well, where are you? Where are you? Where are they hiding? He's like, oh, I'm hiding in a storage facility on this street. So then she woke up. So then Craig was like, which unit is 100? And she was like, God dang it, put the freaking plugs back in. So she had to go back into virtual reality. So the guy was like, Darcy, are you okay? Then everybody came busting in the unit. They freaking freed him. So then Casey's like, look, he's still popular to me. Then he's like, yeah, I'd rather be a loser in the world with Casey than a popular person without Casey. And she's like, oh, that's so cute. Then she almost forgot to unlock him from his chair, but she eventually ended up remembering. She's like, my bad, bro. So Casey, oh my god, this was like the freaking chipper right here. Casey, it was at the end. Casey was like, aren't you glad we ran away to this beach? So then she was like, and spend the rest of our lives together. It was freaking bread. I was like, oh my god, I was like, Ross Butler is back. I'm like, oh my god, so this is like a hint. I feel like this is a hint that we will be getting something in the future with Brett in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, it was just so amazing. So then Ernie came and was like, Casey, you want to go to the movies? But she was too deep into virtual reality. She couldn't even know nothing. But yeah, guys, that was the end of it. I'm not even saying next week. Next 5 weeks from now, Casey got some cool, but Casey got braids. You know, she got like 2 braids on the side. That's the style everybody been doing, like putting their hair in braids and stuff like that. And yeah, so then they want to interview her parents, but you know what? Casey's gonna be pretending to be her mother and her father. I'm like, wow, this show kind of remind me of like a more serious type of person that That's a Raven. Like on That's a Raven, Raven was getting all dressed up in disguise for like silly reasons. Well, not like silly reasons, but like it was like, okay, come on, Raven, did you have to dress up in disguise? But on here, Casey go under disguise for work, like for spy stuff. But I feel like this reminds me of Casey Undercover. It does. It just, I mean, it reminds me of That's a Raven. So, yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. If you got to this far in the video, comment your favorite Disney Channel show. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.